or anybody can ever do is to walk in honesty. Because here's the thing, when you're honest, you're in a position, of examining yourself. Now, topic of the message that I want to talk about, I was sharing with a guy on at the bus stop. Cool that I'll get a shot to share about things in the bus stop. But the thing is, what people, the reality of do you actually know yourself? Pretty much, yeah. The reality of do you actually know yourself? Because here's the thing that, I'm seeing, I look at people, and unfortunately, many people are operating in darkness. But if you're operating, now watch this, if you're operating in spiritual darkness, can you see? Are you supposed to see something spiritual? If you're operating in spiritual darkness, it's the question that I hope that, you will do an examining. I love how David, press to the Lord thy God and say, oh Lord, examine me, examine my heart, examine me, reveal what's inside of me. You can tell that David understood the importance. If he's going to be a man after God's own heart, he has to, this is a must to understand how much he has to examine himself. So watch this. Why is David asking God so passionately, to the utmost way, and majority of the Psalms he talk about examining himself, examining what's going on inside? Well, guess what? That's the topic of this message. Do we really know who we are? You know what I'm saying? Do we really know who we are and know who he is, pretty much? And that's the deception to me, that what Satan puts in people concerning the kingdom of darkness, that, oh, you know you. Yeah, you know you. You know what you do. Everybody got this mindset, and, oh, I know who I am. I know the kind of person I am, And I just gonna, okay, well, the kind of person you are. Well, you're willing to go on a test to see if you know the kind of person you are? Well, here's the thing. I told him this. It says, here's what's foolish about people that think they know themselves. First of all, do you have X-ray vision? No, you don't have X-ray vision, because you need X-ray vision to look inside, of you to see who you are. Now, do you have the ability, or do you have pretty much a microscope? No, you don't have a microscope. Why do you need a microscope? Well, if you look inside yourself, you're supposed to have a microscope to examine the 23 chromosomes that is in your body, that is the ideal makeup of the individual that you are, according to the scientists. They said you're made up in 23 chromosomes. Okay. Now, here's what's interesting about, like I told him, that, it's one thing if it's one chromosome, we just got to look at this one chromosome and say, oh, that's who I am. Okay, let me go be who I am. No, that's not how it works. It's another thing if it's 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, 6. Just look at a 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's who I am. Okay, let me go just be those 2, 5, 6 chromosomes. No, but they're 23. 23 and 5. That 23 seems like a whole lot. You know what I'm saying? To be examining thoroughly, to really truly find out the makeup of the kind of person that you are, concerning the abilities that you can do and the abilities that you cannot do. Yes, it's kind of complicated. Now watch this. I said we needed X-ray vision to look inside of ourselves. We need a microscope to see what's examining ourselves. But watch this. Now we need to examine our reactions. You know what I'm saying? Like something happened. Something did not happen. What is your reaction to it? How would you react to certain things that goes on around you? See, it's kind of like God taught me about that people are kind of like football players. Let's say a football player, like any sports team player or a player and eventually of a sport, you know, like a tennis player or, we're a player. We're in the game, but guess what? We're in the game, but we can't see the game from our position because we're in the game. You know what I'm saying? We're in the game where I'm busy, like I'm a basketball player. I'm busy like playing and shooting and doing this. I only can see concerning of the pace of the game. I can't see everything around me concerning what's happening, who's behind me, I'm just busy, can only perform and do from where the spot that I'm at. And what happens is, what we don't realize as human beings, we're in this world, you know what I'm saying? And we're trying to live in a world that, we're in it, we're busy being human beings. We're busy, the ideal word be means to exist. You know what I'm saying? We're busy existing on the earth, but we're not examining, we're just doing stuff and doing stuff and doing stuff. We're not examining what we're doing. We're just doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like a person does something, they just do it because that was the response that they felt. You know what I'm saying? And like in a child, really show forth the ideal to me about what I'm saying. A child just responds to what's inside them. If they're crying all the time, they're responding to emotion in their body. If they're getting mad, they're responding to emotion. They're responding to emotion. Okay. They're responding to emotion inside of themselves, and they don't know what they're responding to. All they know is they're crying. You know what I'm saying? They're just crying. And the thing is, they just respond. And the thing is, what we don't understand as human beings, and we just grow and just grow. The body just grows out and it develops things, and we just in a process of growth. But the question is, in that process of growth, in the process of growth, are we examining who we are, or do we really have a good, understanding of who we are? Or do we really know who we are as the individuals that we is? Well, no, you don't. You really don't. You somewhat, sort of, kind of know you are, because we always hear the story in everybody's life that they come as what I love David. David thought I love God 100. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I'll do anything for God. He's an awesome person. I love Jesus. I love God. David, took care of the sheep. You know what I'm saying? Defeated Goliath. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I love God. Brought the Ark of the Covenant to, Jerusalem. Yeah, I love God. He's like, yeah, I love God. He's awesome. And then now David's love is going to be tested by a woman going and bathing in a pond. Bathing in a bath, and him seeing her there. Now his love is being tested, and all of a sudden we know that he find himself, sleeping with a person's husband's wife. That the husband is a soldier that's fighting and doing the thing that he's supposed to be doing as king, fighting against the enemies of Israel. Yeah, and he, sleeping with his wife. And now the loyalty of the soldier will not sleep with his wife, knowing that his soldiers are fighting out in the battlefield. It's an honorable soldier. You know what I'm saying? He can't be, so much involved with the affairs that's going on as civilians of doing that. He's a soldier. He's supposed to be busy fighting with his fellow brethren in the army, something like David should be doing. That's another message. But the thing is, now David has to, clean up his mess, and told Joab to put him in the front of the battle to get himself killed. Yeah, did David know that a motivation, a motive can develop inside a person's heart that says they're a man after God's own heart? Did David know that a desire to commit adultery, a desire to commit murder was in there? I don't think so. I didn't know. David didn't know that, because David thought he knew he loved God. I mean, he thought he had it going on with the Goliath killing and bringing the Ark of the Covenant to Jerusalem. He thought he had it going on, but he discovered that he did not know him. He did not understand the ability of him doing such a wrong thing existed in his heart. Just as every individual, we don't understand what's going on in our heart. As what Peter, I can keep picking characters in the Bible all day. Peter said, I'm with you, Jesus Christ, all the way. Whatever it takes, I'm following you. I'm gonna be with you, ride or die. And Jesus straight up told Peter straight up, that you will deny me 3 times, and the cock will crow. The cock will crow. And I bet Peter was looking at Jesus like, are you crazy, God, Jesus? Why would I do something like that? I have a desire and to will to follow you every step of the way. Why would you think I would do some crazy thing like that? I bet Peter was like that. And then all of a sudden, boom, the officers of the Sanhedrin came and arrest Jesus. Now Peter's took a knife out of there and cutting soldier ear off. You know what I'm saying? Going buck wild. And Jesus, like, what you doing, Peter, man? This is this is what I gotta do. I gotta fulfill the will of God. I did a message one time. It's like, do we still got those Peters that they're responding, a wrong response, interfering with the will of God, because they did not know what was going on in their heart. They did not understand the motive that was there to do something that will interfere with the will of God. They did not know what was in their heart was in there to interfere with the very will of God that's supposed to save people's lives. Could you imagine people that are walking around that don't actually know who they are? Of course, people are in darkness. They practicing sin, doing all this wickedness, doing all this negativity, don't even understand that they're Genesis 1:26, made in the image and the likeness of God, and they think God doesn't belong inside of them. How could a people come to this place? How you doing, ma'am? Have a wonderful day. How could a people come to this place to not think that they're Genesis 1:26? Well, it's representations of, how you doing? Have a wonderful day. Well, representations of Jesus Christ is not presenting themselves to people concerning their actions, concerning their spiritual, and they're not examining. To me, the church is not examining their performance concerning the scriptures. Are you the Acts church? Are you following the rules of what the Acts church has performed to truly be a representation of the Acts church? You know what I'm saying? Are the church going to examine themselves and say, wait a minute, we're operating in division, we're operating in religion, we're operating in tradition. Are we examining ourselves concerning the practices that we're doing, concerning saying that we are a church and we're representations of the body of Christ? Are we truly are, or are we not? Well, it's all about examining ourselves of, do we really know who we are? All right, that's the message, and that's the That's the message. God be glory, him forever and ever. In Jesus' name, amen.